All right, so let's take a look at a little more interesting example of using Angular. Right now, we know how to render a string. Let's look at something a little more interesting, perhaps rendering an array. Okay, so here's an array. We have courses that contains several objects containing several of the courses that I teach, and so this can be a state variable. Just like message could be a state variable in the component, we can have an entire courses variable in there as well. Now we can refer to that, just like we can refer to message as a string in the component variable, we can refer to courses as well. Right? Now in React, the way we would refer to it would be with some curly brackets by embedding JavaScript. Right? We would embed the JavaScript inside of HTML. That's a no-no in Angular. Right? There's no such thing as embedding JavaScript inside of HTML. Instead, HTML, what it's going to do is that it's going to use some special attributes that are Angular specific attributes, right, that are going to be parsed, right, and compiled by the Angular infrastructure, right? So here's an example. Here's an example of one of those attributes, right? It's called ng4, ng4, right? ng4, does what you would expect, right? It takes an expression, it iterates over a collection, and what it does is it copies and pastes the element that is being declared inside. Right? So for instance, this li here, right, includes an ng4. And what's going to do is that it's going to iterate over the state variable courses. As it iterates, it's going to bind each li with that particular instance of course, right? And then inside of that li, you can then reference attributes or properties of that object, right, inside of these curly bracket expressions. Right, so what this is going to do is that it's going to copy and paste this li for every instance of the object in the courses. See that? You're going to copy it into the DOM, right? And then you can refer to each course element and the elements attributes in there, the title. So you're rendering all the titles of that courses. Make sense? Right? So this is in contrast of using embedded JavaScript, right? Of doing a courses.map, right? And then iterating and then returning all those LIs. See that? So the syntax is slightly different, but it's the same concept, right? All right, so let's look at handling click events.